And I am very excited to be here today. Hello, hello, hello. This is Kathleen Gage with Vegan Visibility, and my commitment for the year is to go live Monday through Friday, anytime during the day. And most of the locations that I've been selecting have had to do with Facebook group, my particular Facebook group, and I'm actually just switching over to my Zoom so that I can make sure that I time everything appropriately, which really leads into the topic for today. What is the topic for today? I got the idea by being on a Clubhouse room, and one of the things I'm also committing to in 2022 is to be on Clubhouse every single day, go up to the stage, share something, ask a question, gain visibility. And just to show you how well it works, I joined Clubhouse back in April of 2021. So that was not quite 9 months ago, 10 months ago. And it took me about 8 months to get 450 people because I wasn't doing much of anything but lurking in rooms. I was going into rooms. I wasn't really getting involved. In a matter of, we're at the 18th of the month right now, in a matter of 18 days, Monday through Friday, showing up to Clubhouse, small rooms, I went from about 450 connections, followers on Clubhouse to now I'm at about 620. That's in an 18-day period compared to 8 months. So I think that it helps to show up, which actually I was in Clubhouse yesterday when there was a room where the topic was creativity or knowledge, which is most important. And the reality is they're both important. However, there are times where creativity is really important and other times where knowledge is really important. And one of the things that I've learned, for example, the thought that occurred to me while I was in the room is with my taxes. I'm not there to get creative with my taxes. There are very specific rules, and for most of us, of course, there's always the exception to the rule of people who have their own creative way of doing their taxes. And some of them may end up in prison because they got pretty creative. Others may not. That's none of my business. What my business is to make sure I keep my side of the street clean and I do what I need to do to make sure that my taxes are done the way they're supposed to be done. And that's where I hire somebody who has the knowledge on how to do them appropriately. So my knowledge in that case is to know that I don't have all the answers, but a good bookkeeper and accountant will have better answers than I do. So my knowledge tells me I hire somebody for the knowledge. In other cases, I hire somebody for the creativity. Now, we can't always hire people. So what do? Well, first of all, some people like to identify themselves as very creative and they're all right brain and they don't do any left brain stuff. That's all very great, but there's only so much you can do with that creativity if you're trying to run a business. If you're trying to run a business, you definitely need to have the knowledge of what you need to do to get the funding, to make the sales, to put conversion funnels together, things of that nature. And that also ties in with hiring the people that can help you to accomplish your outcome. So for me, I really feel that creativity has its time and place. As I'm writing, I get into a very creative space. As I'm creating a blog post, as I'm creating a Facebook Live, I get into my creative space, but I have to have the knowledge of what platform do I use. I use Zoom. I have to know how to set things up so that I can press the button to go live. Without that, I can be as creative as I want to be, but I'll be talking to myself. By going live every day, the point on that whole thing is I have the knowledge through research I've done, through trainings I've taken, through mastermind groups I belong to, through membership programs I belong to. I'm getting the knowledge on what to do to amplify my visibility in 2022. It means showing up every single day. That's the knowledge. The creativity is what I do with that time. So the point being is you've got your creativity, you've got your knowledge. You can have all the knowledge in the world, and I've seen people do this where they study over and over and over again. I remember years ago, I had a friend whose husband would go out and get the next degree, the next degree, the next degree. The guy was degreed up the yin-yang. And yet he never did anything with the degrees. And it's her ex-husband now. And it just created quite a financial burden, quite a challenge between them in their relationship, because he was always going to school, but he wasn't bringing in any income to support the family finances. And so he had a lot of knowledge, but he wasn't being creative in how he was using that knowledge. It used to be that in order to get a job, you had to have a degree. You had to have that piece of paper. It's not like that anymore. Many companies, they will say, we prefer you have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or whatever it may be that they're requiring, or equivalent experience. That's where the creativity comes in. So are you doing what you can to not only get the knowledge in what you need to do, but I see this a lot with solopreneurs and small business owners, is they get all this knowledge and they keep taking program after program after program, and they're not applying the information. On a recent live that I did, I shared that there was a program I wanted to take, and it was a $1,000 program. And something told me it wasn't the time. And it's not because the information isn't great. The person teaching the program, phenomenal. But I have some other programs I've invested in that my commitment is, okay, I've got the information. I have to apply the information. I have to be creative in how I apply the information. So if all you're doing is being creative and you don't have the knowledge on how to implement that creativity in a way that it's going to grow your business, and I'm speaking now to small business owners, solopreneurs, authors, speakers, coaches, if you're not creative in how you're going to apply that knowledge, it doesn't do you any good. It's the same thing, and I think I was saying creative and knowledge. But bottom line is, I believe you need both. I believe there's a time and a place for everything. Now, what do I do to tap into my creativity? There's a few things I do. And pretty soon, my good friend Pat Monsieur and I, we're going to be doing a Facebook Live, and we're going to be talking about older women and health, because she's in phenomenal health. She's just a rock star when it comes to health. And she's 70 years old. She just turned 70. And you would never know it to look at her energy level. You would never know it to look at how fit she is. She is crushing it. Now, was it always that way? No, it wasn't. So we're going to use our creativity in what we share with the market on how to really get in optimal health, depending on what your goals are. But with that being said, how I tap into my creativity. First of all, when I get up every morning, I get right into gratitude. That's the number one thing. Gratitude will help you open up your creative channels. Another thing that I do is I spend time doing yoga, at least 20 minutes every day. And I've also been doing Chinka, I think it is. It's where you go through and you tap energy points on your body. And it's a great way to open up your energy circuits and to get more creative. Then what I do is I read something inspirational. Right now, I'm reading the book, The Untethered Soul. My good friend, Selena Maitreya, she sent it to me. And I just am loving that book, The Untethered Soul. Reading that book. And then what I do is I journal, and I do it on my computer, so I spend some time writing. And then what I do is I go on a run. Now, most days lately, the temperature has been around 35, 36 degrees. My rational self says, you could put it off until later in the day when it gets a little warmer. But my real self knows that if I wait till later in the day, I'm probably going to get caught up. I'm going to get busy, and I'm not going to do it. Taking a run in 35-degree weather, for me, I'm not saying this is what other people should do, but for me, it works really well, because it only takes probably about 3 minutes before I'm just loving the run. Now, I do wear gloves. I do wear a beanie cap. You've probably seen it, my pit bull cap, where it's a beanie knit cap. And I bundle up pretty well, and I wear clothing that takes in the heat and really warms up my body. And if it gets too hot, then it cools down my body. It's running gear. And I will go on a run. Today, I went on a 3.5-mile run. It was glorious. And it just gives me the time to clear my head. It's amazing how many ideas and thoughts come to me when I'm on a run. Now, it's getting the creative idea and then implementing the idea. It's one thing to get an idea. It's a whole different ball game to actually implement the idea. So what I know to be true is I have strategies. I have the knowledge of how to tap into my creativity. What I do with it is up to me. Now, I know if there are mornings that I get too busy and I get caught up and I don't do my yoga, I don't do my reading, I don't do my meditation, I know my day's not going to be as productive or as peaceful. And nowadays, for me, it's very important that I do all I can to have as serene a day as possible. Now, serene doesn't mean boring. A lot of people equate serene with boring. And I remember when I got sober 38 years ago, I equated the word serenity with boring. I didn't want to have a boring life. And I got to tell you, my life is not boring. I am very entertained by the things in life, whether it be things on social media, whether it be my animals, whether it be my own thinking. And that's what the Untethered Soul really talks about, is our thought process. But I encourage you, look at what you're doing to enhance your knowledge. And it's a good idea to do something every day to stimulate the brain. And look at what you're doing to enhance your creativity. And equally as important, what are you doing to marry the two of those so that you get the kind of result that you're looking for, whether it be in your health, whether it be in your mindset, whether it be in your finances, whether it be in your business, whether it be in the relationships that you have. What are you doing to really enhance your life? This is Kathleen Gage with Vegan Visibility, encouraging you, go out, continue to learn, continue to be creative, have the willingness to do something with that creativity. It's very important, because if you do nothing with it, you get nothing in return. This is Kathleen Gage, wishing you a great, great day. Take care. Be well, eat compassionately, live